Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. Friday, December 15th, 2023. Almost said Gonzo's Wrestling Room. Almost started the wrong show. Hey, what's up, David Kraft?
David was said, "What the hell's wrong with
Yeah, almost started the wrestler. Try to start the wrestler show. Wrong show. My bad. But I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Oh, not too good on my picks. I forgot to even look up a couple of them. I think I ended up 3 and 4.
I was just saying, is that bad? You did well. Look,
I didn't want to look.
Bit of a big Friday, man. We got a lot going on this weekend. This weekend in sports.
Yeah, definitely. And want to give a shout out to Jordan Bell, Hypocrisy Jones. Him and some people just made an announcement. They're going to be running a wrestling show in Kokomo sometime in 2024 at the minor league baseball stadium.
Yep.
So that's going to be cool. They just made that announcement. More details to come. So shout out to Mr. Jones. And
as we're speaking of that, also don't forget they got their big Kokomo Press holiday show tomorrow on Facebook at 8 o'clock, if I remember.
8 o'clock.
So look up the Kokomo Press on Facebook. If you're into comedy, go check them out. They got a lot of talent over there.
Yep.
What do they call it? Satire.
Yeah. Definitely check it out. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I've listened to their podcast and watched it a few times. You won't be disappointed. I'll be honest. I want to get down there and watch one of their live comedy shows they've been doing there in Kokomo that they've been selling out.
Yeah, I want to go see Jordan do comedy. I've seen some of his clips and it looks really, really good. I love comedy shows anyway. So yeah, but shout out to Jordan and then I think Chris Owens, who's also a pro wrestler, and the other guys. I'm not sure who's all involved, but shout out to them too and the whole group.
I know if everything works out, depending on what the exact date is and with everything, I think we're probably going to be at that show.
Yeah, well, I know we were definitely invited. So
looking forward to that. Should be pretty cool being at a baseball stadium.
Yeah, I mean,
last time I was at a wrestling show at a baseball stadium. Well, I went to the stadium, but at a baseball field was here in Muncie.
We was involved in that.
Yeah, we kind of helped put that on. So hopefully they get a lot better weather than we did that day. But ours was also later in the year. Theirs is going to be in summer. So I mean, you still have rain, but it shouldn't be cold.
It was 70 degrees Friday. Of course, our show was on Saturday, and it was
like 50 and
misting the whole day. So. We still did okay, but I mean, we could have done a lot better.
Oh yeah, still had a pretty good crowd, but just think if it had been nice out.
It'd been nice out because we had a heck of a card.
We had some people. I think the weather scared some people away.
Well, I'd say probably still one of my top 10 independent shows I've ever been to, and that was
2007, 7, 8.
I was thinking a little later than that, maybe 9 or 10. No, we was in this house. I thought. No, we was in the other one. It was after 8 because I was already in the other house. I wasn't on Ribble. So it was definitely after 8.
I was just going by Austin was around. I was saying around 7, 8, 9 years old.
Yeah,
So that's why I was saying somewhere around there.
I think it might have been. Yeah, because we was in the house over there on Ribble, I believe.
Because I remember he had Metro football practice that day, and then he ended up in the hospital that night.
Yeah,
and him spent the night in the hospital.
Well, I did too. Yep, I remember that. I want to say
So
it's about 09.
I missed probably probably half the show or more because I had to leave.
I want to say by his size, but hell, when
you can't go by his size
because he was 5 and then 10 wasn't a whole lot of difference.
I was trying to. Well, what I was trying to remember is whether he was playing flag football or tackle at the time. That's what I was trying to remember, but I can't even remember that. Hell, I can't remember what happened 2 days ago, let alone.
Yeah.
Man, that's been too long ago. It's hard to believe. Ooh, I don't even want to get into thinking about that.
What do you think I feel?
It's crazy.
Getting old sucks.
Let's see. I know. How's it going, Glenn?
That's better than alternate.
Yeah, Glenn. It'll be GWR on Sunday. I don't know. I was ahead of myself. Day's only Friday.
Yep.
But my picks went great yesterday. I went 5-5. NFL. I had the under 34.5. That wasn't no good at halftime. And the crazy thing about that is only one team scored all the points.
And got a team fired. Got a coach fired.
And GM fired.
GM too.
And I had forgot this. I knew it, but I forgot about it. That GM used to be with the Colts. He wasn't the GM, but he was with the Colts under with the Bill Polian's staff. Tom Telesco. He was actually the guy that got that brought Pat McAfee to Bill Polian's attention, and he was one of the main big reasons the Colts drafted McAfee. He saw McAfee punting at a bowl game because in college McAfee was a field goal kicker. I think a lot of people forget that. In college he kicked field goals. He actually lied to the Colts before the draft or at the I don't think it was at the combine, but before the draft because Colts was want him to be a punter, but of course being a punter they want you to hold for the field goal kicker. They asked him if he'd ever held. He said yes. He'd never held for a kicker at all. Vinatieri put him through a crash course after Vinatieri found out because Vinatieri's like, "You're not screwing my career up."
Yeah.
But yeah, he had never held for a field goal before. Because he was originally a soccer player, then he started kicking field goals in college, and then ended up being a punter in the NFL, which it's kind of crazy how that all happened. But yeah, Telesco was one. Because he'd been on McAfee's show before.
And now one of the biggest TV stars in sports TV, if not the biggest.
In my opinion, he has the best sports show going right
Okay, how would you rank it? You got him first. Who would be 2 for you right now?
Man, that's tough.
I enjoy listening to Colin Cowherd, but I can't do it 5 days a week. I would say probably still because his not just 100% the same all the time. I'm going to say Dan Patrick. I think it's still a high level.
If I go by not just on TV, like listening on the radio, are you talking about like listening on the radio as well? Because I don't watch.
TV is different.
I don't get to watch a lot of Dan Patrick, but I do listen to a lot on the radio. I would put that show right up there. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy listening to that Two Pros and a Cup of Joe on Fox Sports in the morning with LeVar Arrington and Jonas Knox and Brady Quinn. I enjoy listening to that. It has a little bit because it has a little bit of comedy in it too. A name I'm going to say that is going to piss a lot of people off.
I already know who you're going to say. You are going to piss a lot of people off. You may get us canceled just saying
it's going to piss a lot of people off. But I enjoy listening to Jason Whitlock, and I always. And well, you know, I've listened to him for a long time when he was on Fox. I know he's went a little more political now, but he still does a lot of sports stuff too. Now when he gets in some of that political stuff, I'll quit listening to it sometimes. But I like listening to his sports talk stuff. I really enjoyed when him and Cowherd were together on that show on Fox, and even him and Mark. And that's another guy. I watch a lot of Marcellus Wiley's YouTube page as well. I'll listen to a lot of them. I used to like watching Skip and Shannon. And then they got to where I couldn't stand listening to it anymore, and I really haven't watched much of the new show with Skip.
I like the one guy when they had the show first started with Chris Carter. I can't hardly watch it.
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright now, but Chris Carter was great. I thought Chris Carter was fantastic.
Stevie likes he likes his show, and I told him I don't like it, and I told him I said, well, it's on every day, usually at 3:00, but I have it on while we do this show, but the sound's off.
Do you believe?
And the reason I have it on just so I can see the headlines because McAfee is usually ending right now. But
how much of the stuff he says do you think he really believes, or is a lot of it for effect? Well, there's a lot of them do stuff for effect.
Oh, it's just like Skip Bayless. Skip says a lot of stuff that he don't believe. It's them guys are all about getting clicks.
Well, entertainer. I mean,
but that's why I like McAfee's show, because it's not all about just saying crazy things to get clicks or all the arguing, all negative. That's one reason I watch Pat's show so much, is because it's more of a positive show.
He'll give his point of view, but he's not going to sit there and say that he's right. I'm 100% right. This is the way it is. He don't really come off that way. Now, I'm not saying he don't have some hardcore opinions that he may believe in, but it ain't 100% the truth. That's it. Nobody else can have a different opinion.
No, I agree.
And he'll say his takes. I've heard him say. I've heard him talk about that one dude that does the referee calls on the one channel. He said he sucks. He's awful. Why would anybody watch it? I mean, he don't care.
Or a couple weeks ago he went off on the NCAA
he did.
for a whole show about how big dumbasses they are.
I loved when he faked out Alabama.
Did you finally see that clip?
Yeah, I seen the clip. Well, I seen the clip because they had the coach on, and the coach from Alabama said, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
Because he did it to Georgia. That's what he did. Yeah. He said you are nuts.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right before the SEC championship game. I was dying laughing when I saw that.
But you know where he got that from? Part of that? Pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Being a heel. I mean, from being a pro wrestling fan.
He's always been a big pro wrestling fan. I don't know if you saw this clip before we move on. Last week, during the show, they watched his first independent match. And this was before he got drafted in the NFL. This was like right after his last college football game. His agent had told him, because he told his agent he was going to this independent wrestling show in West Virginia to watch it. He said, do not get in that ring and do anything. He said, you've already had a couple things in your past with underage drinking and stuff. You don't want to give these NFL agent or NFL teams any ammunition. He goes there and he ends up getting a ring with a guy named, I don't know if you've ever heard of War Pig.
Yeah.
He wrestled War Pig in a match, and they showed the whole match, and they were kind of reacting to it. It was funnier than hell. It's all you can find on his YouTube page, but it was pretty funny. But yeah, it was in West Virginia, and it was with War Pig, and then he talked about it. And Madman Pondo was there at that show as well. But yeah,
Pondo's nuts.
Yeah, he was in a match with War Pig like just a month or two before he got drafted in the NFL. Which he's always, I mean, he's said it before. He's always been a big wrestling fan.
Also, real quick,
Glenn Grigson did. Grigson did hate Pat. And that was one of the reasons Pat retired when he did. What Grigson was a big reason in that.
I want to give a shout out to the Micro Wrestling Federation there in Tennessee. I know Marcus is a big fan. Marcus Fine, who does a lot of the stuff with us wrestling shows and our GWR on Monday nights. He's friends with them down there and goes to a lot of shows, but they're going to have their own TV show starting in January on Discovery Channel. So it's going to be cool. So we'll have some more information about that, but people can check that out.
Okay. So but yeah, like you said, Raiders and Chargers fired both of them.
I took to Vegas, man. I knew. Yeah.
I went to under 34.5 because the Raiders didn't score 1 point the game before. Chargers offense has been terrible. So I was like, this is going to be one of them games where there's not going to be no points scored. Well, it was 42-0 at halftime, which was nuts.
Yes.
I loved it. I know some people are going to say it wasn't professional, that the Raiders coach should have backed off, but I loved that they came out in the second half and just kept going after it. I understand why he did. He's he's an interim coach. He's auditioning not just for the Raiders head coaching job to keep it, but other teams. So I mean, I understand why he kept the foot on the gas, but
they've played really well since he's took over. I mean, they had not won every game, but they've played a lot better. And I hope he gets an honest shot at it.
Have you seen this shit?
No.
The Eagles are practicing on working ball security. They have a rope attached to these footballs. The players are holding on the rope, and these other coaches have mops and are trying to punch the football out. And then the players are falling to the ground and have to hold on to the ball.
I thought they was beating them with I thought they was beating them with the mops. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, I saw that earlier and I was cracking up. But NBA last night I was 2-2. I had the Heat, I had the Heat beating the Bulls at the -3. The Bulls won that game. I did have the Timberwolves at the +1.5, right? Thunder lost to the Kings. I had the Thunder at the +2.5, and then the Clippers beat the Warriors. Warriors are just terrible this year.
Yeah, I was 0-2. So,
and then I went 2-1 in hockey, and 1-1 in college basketball. I took Marquette to -24.5. They won. Guess how many points they won by? Like 5. Like number 8 team in the country. They won by like 5. But we got a pretty good slate of games for today. Well, not today, I guess, but for the weekend. I got some NBA today, some hockey, a little bit of college basketball. And then tomorrow you got NFL, a little bit of college football tomorrow. Some of the bowl games starting. A lot of them are smaller bowls, but still football. Of course, there's UFC tomorrow night.
Yep.
And Sunday, full slate of football games. Colts play tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Oh, all right. Well, did you have anything else before we jump into the games?
Good luck, Billy Starks tonight. She's wrestling the main event of the Ring of Honor pay-per-view tonight. I think the pre-show's at 7, starts at 8. So she's in the main event against Athena, who used to be in the WWE. So shout out to her and good luck for tonight.
Who do you think is going to be the next Chargers coach?
I think the perfect fit's Bill Belichick, but I don't think he's leaving New England. So who do you think?
Well, if he leaves New England, I think there's a good chance that's who it'll be. It'll be Belichick. But if he don't, I think it could be Jim Harbaugh.
You think Harbaugh's done at Michigan?
I think there could be a chance because I think the NCAA is going to try to suspend him for some of next season, and especially if he wins especially if they can win in that national championship this year, I could see him going back to the NFL because then the only thing he hadn't won is that Super Bowl in the NFL. He made it to a Super Bowl, lost to his brother, and Chargers would be a perfect fit. You have a quarterback, so I can see maybe Harbaugh.
Let's say Michigan wins it all. Harbaugh leaves. One coach will take his place. He the new coach at Michigan?
I think so.
That's what I think. That's what I think too.
And I think if Harbaugh stays, I think there's a good chance that guy.
Well, there's going to be people.
I think he's going to be a head coach somewhere. He'll be a head coach somewhere next year. If it's not Michigan, he'll be a head coach somewhere. I think he earned that this year with the way he handled that program and handled everything.
Yep.
With Harbaugh gone. I think somebody will give him a chance to be a head coach.
Hopefully, he's patient and gets the right job. I mean, sometimes I know they come. They come calling. They got a bag of money.
I agree with you because you want to get in the right situation, but it's so tough because there's only 32 of those jobs. So and you never know if you're going to get another offer. Yep. You know what I mean? Because your name's hot this year. You don't take it next year. There might be somebody else's name that's hot ahead of you.
Somebody's got a bag of money in front of you. It's hard to. I'm sure it'd be very difficult to turn down.
Oh yeah.
Why are they calling him the Prince?
That's what your buddy Nick Wright calls him. Because he called Mahomes is the king and Lawrence is the prince, and he thinks Lawrence is the next Mahomes.
So what's Purdy, the jester?
According to him, yeah. That dude hates on Purdy every day. Every day. He has too much talent around him. IPW #1 fan said Nick Wright is the GOAT. IPW #1 fan. I can't believe you still have that as your damn name.
Yeah. And Nick Wright sucks, big donkey, whatever.
IPW #1 fan.
I knew Nick Wright was an idiot.
Everything he says about Purdy is 100% right.
But Nick Wright was all right. But when he had Chris Carter, because Chris Carter keep him in check. But once he left, he's become a complete idiot.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
I still wonder what Chris Carter did. Lose his job. He did something. The boy, they kept it covered up.
Yeah, and he hasn't been back on TV much. He does some stuff for the NFL. He was on Pat's show not too long ago, but he's not on TV a whole lot. But all right, NBA tonight. We'll go ahead and jump into the NBA. First game I'm going with, you got the Pacers on the road at the Wizards. Pacers are, well, let me make sure it's still this, but it was 8.5. Come on, load up. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Yes, Pacers are 8.5-point favorites on the road, -360 on the money line. The Wizards are +290 on the money line. Over/under for this game is at 260.5. Yeah, 260.5. I thought I was reading that wrong.
260. It went. I had it 257.5. 260.5.
Yeah, over/under is at 260.5. I'm going Pacers. I'm going with the Pacers at the -8.5. Pacers are coming off a game where they got embarrassed by the Bucks. Usually when that happens to a team, they come out play a good game. Washington is not a real good team, so I'm gonna go with the Pacers at the -8.5 on the road.
If Stevie, if Nick Wright's right all the time, maybe you should have had him draft your fantasy football team.
Don't get him started about that fantasy team. Oh my goodness!
Every time he'd score 150 points, and whoever he played scored 151.
Yeah.
Every time he scored good, it could be the worst team in the league he played. They'd score 1 more point more, 5 more, or 10 more.
Yeah. Believe me, I've heard about it.
I know you have.
Everybody.
You didn't have to tell me.
Everybody that he played had their best week against him.
They did.
They did.
They really did.
He had no luck this year in fantasy football.
Except for crazy Austin went on that damn 9 or 10 game win streak and was averaging 180 points a game.
Oh shit! I scored 160 against Austin and lost. It's like damn. I didn't even realize I made the playoffs. I didn't even know I made the playoffs until Stevie said, "Hey, you're going to win the first round playoffs." I said, "This playoff?" I said, "This playoffs already?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Oh,
playoffs."
I didn't think I was going to make it, so I just thought this was the last week of the regular season. No, I didn't know when last week was playoffs, and Austin cooked the books. Okay, next game, I'm going with the Orlando Magic against the Boston Celtics. Celtics are 4.5-point favorites at home. They're -184 on the money line. The Magic are +154 on the money line. Over/under for this game is at 224. I'm going with Boston at home at the -4.5. And then my last NBA game, I'm going with Phoenix Suns at home against the New York Knicks. The Suns are 5-point favorites, -198 on the money line. The Knicks are +166 on the money line. Over/unders at 232.5. I'm going with the Suns at the -5. So my NBA picks: Pacers -8.5, Celtics -4.5, and the Suns at the -5.
And my NBA picks for tonight, I got the Pelicans -6.5 at Charlotte. I got Indiana at Washington. I'm going to go the under 260.5. Maybe Indiana can play defense maybe once. And the Lakers -7 against San Antonio Spurs. That's my picks for the NBA.
All right. Hockey tonight, NHL. I'm going with the Hurricanes at home on the money line against the Predators. Bruins on the road on the money line against the Islanders. That's going to be my two NHL picks, Bruins and Hurricanes.
Okay, my NHL picks for tonight. I got Boston money line at the Islanders. I got Nashville at Carolina. I'll take Carolina money line, and I got Buffalo at Vegas. I'm gonna take Vegas money
And then college basketball tonight. I took one game. I'm going to take UConn at the -3.5 against Gonzaga. Two top 25 teams playing each other, but I like this UConn team, so I'm going to go with UConn at the -3.5.
I ain't doing any college basketball.
No college basketball?
I ain't been able to get into it yet. Maybe we get into the Big Ten a little more.
IPW #1 fan said Vegas fire. I know you agree with that because you're a big Vegas fan. I've been staying away from them a little bit because when I pick them, they seem to lose.
I know it. You don't quit picking them.
I don't know if you noticed, I haven't picked them for a couple weeks.
And they've been winning again.
They were winning. I was picking them, and then all of a sudden they started losing every time I picked them. Like, damn it. Hey, that happens sometimes. Okay, that's all I have for Friday for today. Tomorrow on Saturday we have NFL first game, Vikings at the Bengals. Get this just to make sure that none of the odds have changed because sometimes they change. Okay, no, it's the same. You have the Vikings on the road at the Bengals. This game's at 1:00 tomorrow. Bengals are 3-point favorites at home, -166 on the money line. Vikings are +140 on the money line. Over-unders at 40.5. I'm going to take the Bengals at the -3 at home. Vikings are switching quarterbacks again. They're going to Mullins. Dobbs is not. Dobbs started off hot, but he has not played well last few games. So,
hang on to the ball.
Yeah, so they're Vikings have struggled to score points too. Last week when the Vikings and the Raiders, that was 0-0 going into the fourth quarter with like 2 minutes left in the game, and the Vikings kicked the field goal. They struggle. Bengals, their backup quarterback Browning came in and played two pretty good games in a row. They put it on the Indianapolis Colts last week, which some of that I thought was self-inflicted by the Colts, but I have to give Browning some credit. He has played well, so I like the Bengals at the -3 in that game. Then you have Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are 1.5-point favorites at home, -116 on the money line. The Steelers are -102. So Colts are slight favorites. Over-unders at 42.5. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts at the -1.5. It scares me a little bit just because I know the history of the Colts with the Steelers. I think we're like 8-26 over the last like 30 years or something. It seems like we always struggle with the Steelers, no matter how good we are and how bad they are. But I look for this to be a bounce back game for the Colts, where they didn't play very good last week. And I like the way I like Steichen. I think he'll have the team ready to play this week. So I'm going with the Colts at the -1.5. And then the other game tomorrow, Broncos and Lions. Lions are Lions are 4.5-point favorites at home, -220 on the money line. The Broncos are +180 on the money line. I'm going with the Broncos here at the +4.5 on the road. I actually think the Broncos win this game. Broncos are hot. They go off to a slow start, look terrible at the beginning of the season. Now they've been on the last couple months have been real hot, won 5-6 games in a row. The Lions have been the opposite. They've got off to a hot start, and in the last few weeks have not looked good. Got blew out. Well, yeah, basically blown out on Thanksgiving by the Packers. I know they made it close. The score looked close in the fourth quarter, but that game was never really a close game. They've had and then who was then they lost they barely beat the Saints. They got big on the Saints. Saints came back.
Yep.
But Lions have just not Goff has been turning the ball over. Lions haven't looked like the same team. So the Broncos defense has really been playing well. So I like the Broncos at the +4.5. I think Broncos win the game. And yeah, that's right. Broncos country, let's ride. So So I'm actually giving a pick out for all 3 games for tomorrow. I'm going Bengals -3, Colts -1.5, and the Broncos at the +4.5.
We got the same exact picks for the NFL. I've got Cincinnati -3, Indy -1.5, and Denver +4.5.
You went all 3 games as well?
Yep.
All right. Then college football tomorrow. I went with 2 games. I'm going to take Ohio at the +3 versus Georgia Southern. And I'm going to take Florida A&M at the -7 versus Howard. That's going to be my 2 college football games for tomorrow for the bowl games.
I didn't do any college football. I didn't really see anything on there that really I'd want to even watch. So I just did.
All right. Well, on NFL Sunday, my first game I'm taking the Falcons at the -3 on the road versus the Panthers. Then I'm going to take the Rams -6.5 at home against the Washington Commanders. I guess I better make sure them spreads are the same. Yep. We'll take the 49ers at the -12 on at home against the Arizona Cardinals. That's a lot of points, but I think Brock Purdy is going to throw for like 3-4 touchdowns, close to 300 yards. Going to wrap up the MVP award after Dak Prescott struggles this weekend. And then I'm going to take the Bills at the -2.5 at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas struggles on the road. They're 3-3 on the road. They've lost to the Cardinals on the road. They got smoked by the 49ers. They've been great at home this year. They haven't lost at home, but they've struggled on the road. The Bills have have a little bit of momentum, and the Bills their backs to the wall. They need this game. They still have a chance to make the playoffs, but they have to have this game. So I like the Bills at the -2.5. I think Josh Allen's going to have a big game.
Yeah, every game Buffalo's playing right now is basically a playoff game. So yeah. I agree.
So that's going to be my picks for NFL on Sunday. Falcons -3, Rams -6.5, 49ers at the -12, and the Bills at the -2.5.
Okay, my NFL picks for Sunday, I got Atlanta -3 at Carolina. I've got Kansas City -7.5 at New England. I got the Jets +9.5 against Miami. And I got Washington at the Rams. I'll take the Rams -6.5. So I had 2 of them you picked. But I think the Jets defense might give Tua some trouble. So I like the +9.5. Even though Jets may have trouble scoring. And I kind of like Buffalo, but they've been kind of inconsistent. So I stayed away from that one.
I ain't gonna lie, I almost took the Jets against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I did. So.
I almost did with the Dolphins. Some of the injuries they have.
Yep.
They lost their center,
and that was a terrible loss they had last week.
They lost their center. Plus, Tyreek Hill might not play.
Stevie, I don't disagree with you. I think McCaffrey should be higher up on the MVP ballot than he is. A lot of people don't think he's got any chance, and I'm like 10 or 11 on the list. I don't think there's really a quarterback that really should get it this year, and I think it should be between McCaffrey and the receiver from Miami.
Yeah, I think it's going to hurt Tyreek getting injured, so he didn't have a real good game last week. I think I think Tyreek Hill's best chance of getting MVP is if he can get that over 2,000 yards receiving and break that record. No, I agree. McCaffrey could be right there for MVP as well, but it usually goes to a quarterback. That's why I think it's going to be Purdy unless Purdy was to fall apart. Because I think the Cowboys are going to fall apart. That's just they always do. So I'm kind of waiting for that to happen.
Could be this week.
All right. And then only other thing I have is a UFC for tomorrow night. I'm trying to get it pulled up here, but for some reason I'm having trouble.
They've had a lot of trouble with this card. But this is not the original card they originally had. Because Edwards originally wasn't supposed to take on Covington. It was somebody else. That fell through. And then I think there was one yesterday that fell through, but I'm not.
All right. Well, I'll get it pulled up here real quick. I'm having a little bit of trouble there. Yeah, they've had some changes, but still a pretty good card. Um, I just gave out. I just got picks together for the main card.
I got them for 4 fights.
Uh, first fight on the main card: Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. I'm going with I'm gonna go with Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell with the upset over Emmett.
I didn't do that fight. I did the next 4.
Then you have Tony Ferguson against Patty Pimblett. I'm gonna go with Patty Pimblett over Ferguson. Ferguson, he just isn't the same fighter that he used to be.
I like Ferguson. He's one of my favorites, but yeah, I agree.
Dak for MVP. Come on.
He probably wants to.
Dak has. I will say this. I'm not a Dak fan, but Dak has been playing well. He's having one of his better seasons. He has.
Well. He is playing well,
but he's played well mostly against bad teams.
Well, if he can finish off the season, they don't lose another game, and play real well, then yeah, he might be. He might be.
And so I'm going with Patty Pimblett over Tony Ferguson. Then next fight. I'm gonna go with Stephen Thompson to pull out the upset against Shavkat
Ramonov.
Ramonov, or how you pronounce it. I know he's undefeated, but I think Thompson's gonna pull the upset there. I think they're ranked 5 and 6, if I remember correctly. Ramonov's ranked 5th, Thompson 6th. Then I'm gonna go with Pantoja, Alexander Pantoja over Brandon Royval. And then that's the co-main event. And then main event, Leon Edwards against Colby Covington. I'm going with Leon Edwards over Covington.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for my UFC. I did 4 fights. I'm going with Pimblett over Ferguson. I'm going with the however you pronounce it, Ramonov over Thompson. I'm going with Pantoja over Royval, and I'm going with Edwards over Covington. My 4 picks for the UFC.
I agree. If they finish the season strong, he's going to get it. And that's part of it too. Okay. It is good for business, but yeah, if they especially with the schedule they have, because they just played the Eagles last week, Bills this week. I mean, they have some. They're playing some good teams these last 3 or 4 games. Other than I think they do play the Giants maybe once or something.
Let me ask this question: so they lose to the Bills, and San Francisco wins the rest of their games, and the quarterback for San Francisco plays pretty well. Then you give it to him.
I think it depends. I don't think to me the win and loss matters some, but it also depends on how you lose. If say Dak throws 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards and don't turn the ball over, but their defense can't stop nobody and they end up barely losing to the Bills. I think it's hard to knock that against that.
But if you don't win your division,
I understand that too. If you don't win your division,
if you don't win your division, if they lose that game, they're probably not going to win their division.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that it opens up if they lose a game and San Francisco doesn't. Purdy plays well. I think Purdy still got a chance to get it.
I think Purdy has a chance.
I'm not saying Dak shouldn't be up in the running and couldn't get it.
That's a dark horse there.
I don't think so.
If the Bills win out and make the playoffs,
he'd have to play really, really,
really good. And Josh Allen plays well, he would have a chance. The voters will vote for him because he's been in the top 3 the last couple of years. They're used to seeing his name there. And if the Bills went on a run and won 4 or 5 games in a row,
how many games they got left? Like 4 games, I think.
4 games counting this week, yes.
4 games left. He'd have to throw about 10 to 12 touchdown passes, then win all them games. maybe even run a couple in. He's going to have to play really, really well to be in the contention, I think.
That's why I said he's a dark horse. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If they beat, watch all these talk shows will be talking about it Monday. If they beat Dallas, everybody will be talking about how Josh Allen's back in the MVP conversation. I wouldn't do it after just like if they beat Dallas, but I think if they was to win out and make the playoffs, and he plays well where he's throwing 2 or 3, I'm not gonna say throwing, where he's responsible for 2 or 3 touchdowns a game, with maybe throw a couple, run for one, don't have a lot of turnovers. His name would be in the conversation. Well, I'm not saying I'd give it to him, but his name would be in the conversation.
I think odds wise, I think he was in front of McCaffrey. Allen was right now, odds wise.
That's crazy.
But I think that's.
Yeah, I wouldn't have him. Well, part of that is because it's basically a quarterback award. They should just call it the most valuable quarterback, because that's basically what it's came down to. Because what they'll do, one of the quarterbacks will get MVP, and then like Tyreek Hill or McCaffrey will get Offensive Player of the Year. It is what they do.
Well,
they basically have turned MVP in, like, a defensive guy defensive player don't even have a chance. Only way, basically, if you're not a quarterback, the only chance you have of getting an MVP is if you have like a historical season. Like if TJ Watt was to break the sack record, he would have a chance. Or Tyreek Hill getting over 2,000 receiving yards. Or if like McCaffrey had a historical season with so many rushing yards and so many receiving yards. That's about the only time anybody besides a quarterback gets.
I think that's ridiculous myself, but
Oh yeah, I mean, I do too.
Well, right now Lamar Jackson's like odds wise like number 3, and I mean I like Jackson. I think he's a very good quarterback, but numbers wise,
he hasn't
had a great year. I mean, not a bad year. I mean, he's had a good year. I don't think a great year.
He's had a good year, but he's had better years where he hasn't been in the MVP.
Yeah,
where he hasn't been in the MVP conversation.
A lot of people look at the records. I mean, they do. I mean, they've only lost 3 games. They're number 1 seed. A lot of people look at those records.
They could be right now. I think they're the team to beat in the AFC if they stay as healthy as they are right now. I mean, I know they've had some injuries. Losing Andrews still scares me, but that defense is playing well, and their offense, they're taking care of the ball pretty good.
And the thing. Man, both leagues are just so wide open, especially I think even the FC, because like you said, if Buffalo makes the playoff, nobody's going to want to play Buffalo in the playoffs.
And honestly, I don't think anybody wants, if Denver stays on the run and makes the playoffs, nobody wants to play Denver. I'm not saying Denver's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that.
No.
But Denver would be a scary team to have to play first round of the playoffs.
I agree. What about if the Jets made it and had Rodgers back?
Rodgers going to play this Sunday. Did you see him at practice today?
I see him.
You know what his goal was? His plan, what his plan was to play next week on Christmas Eve. That was what if they were still in contention, that was what he was going to try to play on December 24th.
Where are they at right now?
They're 5-8.
They're not out of it yet, but not real.
They would have to win out, and they'd have to get some help. Raiders, I think, moved 1 game ahead of them now. So I think Raiders are 6-8, maybe. And then you got a lot of 7 and 6 teams. So I mean, they're not technically completely out of it, but a lot would have to happen for them to get in. But if they would have been in contention, that was his. Which who knows? He might still try to play next week. You never know, but. All right, here we go with the conspiracy theories. Hey, no, but serious, Stevie, have you seen the video of him at the videos of him at practice today?
That's why he's saying he didn't tear his Achilles.
The way he was the way he was moving today, man, it's like, I mean, he wasn't running, but just the way you saw it, just the way he was dropping back, planting and throwing. It's like, you shouldn't be doing that yet, but beating science. It kills me. All these people like have these national shows that are. I don't believe he tore his Achilles. I want to debate him on it.
That was a debate.
Yeah. It's. I hope he plays just because everybody will go nuts. That's all reason. That's the main reason I want to see him play because everybody will go crazy.
I want to see Buffalo beat Dallas. Hear all the feet jumping off the train, jumping off the bandwagon.
It'll go from Dak Prescott's MVP to we need a new quarterback.
It will. It will. Especially if he makes one mistake.
That'll be what Dallas fans.
Oh yeah.
Especially if especially if he throws a couple interceptions or doesn't have a good game. Oh yeah.
Nick Wright will jump off that fucking train so quick. Got to be Mahomes. Got to be Mahomes.
If Dallas loses and Dak has a bad game, Nick Wright's gonna come on Monday praising Brock Purdy that he's the new MVP.
He won't do that. He won't do that. He'll be trying to find a way for Mahomes to get it.
Yeah, they got that. They had the last minute of the game stolen from them last week, man. Yeah. You got to feel bad. You got to feel bad for Mahomes. You got to feel bad for Mahomes in Kansas City. They got that game stolen from them. You shouldn't call that with only a minute left in the game. And you know what was funny? They were saying, "Oh, I've never seen offensive offsides called." Guess what was called last night in the first half of the game?
Been called counting that one 12 times this year.
Yeah, no, what 13 now?
13. Okay.
Yeah, it was called last night. I think on a chart. I think it was on a Chargers player, but I can't remember if it was the Chargers or Raiders. But I think it was a Chargers player. Yeah, I think it was Davis because he had a bad game last night. That dude, I felt bad for that dude. Lined up off sides, then had a ball took from him. They ended up going back for a touchdown. Then he fumbled the ball. I went to the coach and said, "Just take me off the fucking field."
Chargers couldn't do nothing right, and then they gave up too. Man, it was bad.
Whatever Nick Wright says is 100% right. Honestly, this show isn't bad. I do like the mixture of that they have with Broussard and that Wilds.
Yeah, I like Broussard a lot. Wilds okay. I'd never really heard of him before.
He was a producer. He'd always been like a producer, and then all of a sudden they added him in on this show, and I think he fits in with them guys pretty good. But yeah, Nick. Other than only thing I don't like about some of them shows is that's all they talk about. Like a lot of times on this show, all they want to talk about is the Chiefs,
Dallas, a couple other teams. That's it.
That's why I quit watching Skip and Shannon back in the day because when that show first started, I watched it all the time. And then all they talked about was fucking LeBron James and Tom Brady. Yep. It's like, look, I don't want to hear about LeBron James and Tom Brady.
Not every day.
Not every damn day. But even if you're going to talk about them every day, talk about them for 5-10 minutes, not every hour of your show.
Yeah, I agree. Every
block of their show, every like 15 minutes, it was back to that. It's like, I understand you guys do that because ratings they think that's what drives all the ratings, but your average sports fan don't want to sit and watch that. Maybe it might drive your rating for like your clips. Yeah, you're right, Glenn. Sharp is a simp for LeBron. Why would you want to watch a show about a crybaby? So they should make a show. IPW #1 fan said they should make a show just about LeBron James. That's the show I want to watch.
I ain't gonna say that. I better not say that.
They should make a show called The Wannabe Goat, and then just show all the plays of how much better Michael Jordan is than LeBron James.
No, LeBron can't even lace Larry Bird's shoes. Larry Bird's better than LeBron.
I can make a good argument at that. But all right. Do you have anything else before we get out of here for today?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, before we get out of here, I'll go over my picks one more time. I was 5-5 yesterday. Not a great day yesterday,
That's 3 and 4.
but that puts me at 736 and 563 on the year. My picks for today, Friday, December 15th, I'm going with NBA Pacers minus 8.5, Celtics at the minus 4.5, Suns at the minus 5. NHL tonight, Hurricanes money line and Bruins money line. College basketball, UConn at the minus 3.5.
I disagree, Stevie. It wasn't all Pippen. It was Kerr.
All right, Pippen carried Jordan, but let's see. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving. Now Anthony Davis is carrying LeBron.
Yep.
At least Jordan only had one person to carry him, not 7 or 8.
Well, Jordan only played on what, 2 teams? He didn't play on
30. How many teams did they make? 30. I think LeBron's played on 20.
something like that. You got to keep looking to find a way to win. You can't do it on your own.
My NFL. Oh shit! My picks for Saturday. NFL: Bengals minus 3, Colts minus 1.5, Broncos plus 4.5. College football for Saturday: Ohio plus 3, Florida A&M at the minus 7. And then my picks for UFC Saturday night: I'm taking Edwards, Pantoja, Thompson, Pimblett, and Mitchell to get the wins. And then on Sunday, NFL: Falcons minus 3, Rams minus 6.5, 49ers at the minus 12, and the Bills at the minus 2.5. I heard Kerr ducked under that punch and connected with the overhand right on Jordan.
Okay, my picks for Friday, I got the Pelicans minus 6.5 against Charlotte. I got Indy at Washington. I'll take under 260.5. At the Lakers minus 7 at San Antonio. I did that for Stevie and LeBron. NHL, I got Boston money line at the New York Islanders. I got Nashville at Carolina. I'll take Carolina money line. And then I've got Buffalo at Vegas. I'll take Vegas money line. NFL for Saturday, I got Minnesota at Cincinnati. I'll take Cincinnati minus 3. Pittsburgh and Indy, I'll take Indy minus 1.5. Denver plus 4.5 at Detroit. My UFC picks for Saturday night, I'm going with Pimblett, however you say it, Ramanoff, Panjoya, and Edwards as my winners for UFC. And Sunday NFL, I've got Atlanta minus 3 at Carolina, Kansas City minus 7.5 at New England, the Jets plus 9.5 at Miami, and Washington at the Rams. I'll take the Rams minus 6.5. That might be a good parlay. Colts and Pacers.
Yeah, I like that. I think
put 1,000 on that, Stevie. Be a Josh Redwine. Put 1,000 on that. That 1,000 each. 1,000 each game.
All right. We appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live with Warrior Pro Wrestling 27. Should be a great show. Don't want to miss it. I know you have the rematch of Loud and Proud Logan Myers taking on the Warrior Pro champion Blake Money, right? After a controversial ending last month where Logan's foot was on the middle rope when Blake got the pin. I think Zay Gates gets his shot at Jesse Winchester for the Warrior Pride title. Stevie, Redwine would, but he wouldn't take that parlay just because it's the Colts. He wouldn't bet for the Colts. He's going to bet against the Colts every time. He'll take the Jags. He likes putting that money on the what was it? Jags at minus a half.
Yeah,
half a point for the half.
Dude always loved to bet on Jags and Texans games. I don't know, and put 1,000 down. And the other team at that time was very good. And I'm like, well, why would he pick that game?
But yeah, so join
We should have Josh on here and have him do Josh's picks and her. Well, fuck, I'll take I'll take this pick.
We got Josh on here giving out picks. We would get canceled.
Yeah, I can't say what he would say. I know what he would say, but I can't say it.
We would definitely be canceled if Red Wine was on the show giving out picks. That would be...
We should have a segment every Friday. Red Wine's picks. It lasts a week.
Probably, yeah. Probably because the next day we'd probably be done.
Hey, Austin, look at this video.
No, man. Austin turned bright red, too. I know Stevie remembers that.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
I know Stevie remembers that. He goes, yeah, Austin, look at this. She's really getting it. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And Austin turned as red as he turned as red as his fucking ass.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Austin didn't know what to say or
Didn't know what to do.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh Lord.
We need to go out to the casino on a Sunday and watch some football.
Yeah.
You know we'll probably run into Josh out there. So
Saturday or Sunday.
It's gonna be a good day.
Saturday be a little harder now, but when college football is going on, you run into him.
Oh yeah, that was Stevie said laughed my ass off classic. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh God.
But yeah, so join Sunday, 3:00, YouTube, Twitch, for Warrior Pro Wrestling 27. We'll have some more interviews coming up after the first of the year. I know we already have 2 or 3 people that we've been talking to about getting on, so we're going to hold off till after next week since holidays. Don't forget, check out the Kokomo Press holiday show tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. If you're into comedy, you won't be disappointed. It'll be good. Like I said, I've watched some of their stuff.
Yep.
Looking forward to going and seeing one of their live comedy shows as well. What else was there? Is there any? Oh, we did have one interview this week with damn it, what was his name?
Oh, Shoot Machine.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the fucking cult leader. I can't think of his name.
The cult leader. Yeah, the fucking cult leader.
SWS Shooting with Shade.
Yeah.
Go check out that interview, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook.
It's cult leader in professional wrestling. He's not really a cult leader. Let's just clarify that. Jesus Christ. Hey, the fucking cult leader.
I'm gonna get his fucking canceled.
Yep. Maybe we get Stevie join that cult.
Glenn, I would love to have Hadley on, but Hadley does not prefer to do like a long form interview. He's more of a guy who's just going to jump maybe on commentary and talk shit to me and Stevie.
Go crazy.
Call Stevie a ginger
and look like
tell us that we look like we live under a bridge.
That was awesome. That was one of my favorite things ever. Between that and Joey Owens taking over the show, it's 2 of my favorite things ever. You 2 look like you could live underneath a bridge.
That is true. He said Hadley could be a cult leader.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The cult of Hadley. There ain't no doubt about that.
But yeah, so we had that interview. Go check it out. We have over, we're probably getting close to 100 full wrestling shows on our YouTube page. Yep. From over this year and the last couple of years. I know we're up to like 56 this year.
56
will be Sunday.
Yep.
Looks like we're going to end up finishing the year at 50, probably 58.
Yep, it looks like.
So I think last year was like 35 or something around there.
If everything goes right, Marcus is going to hit 101.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, Marcus is crazy.
Oh, that's true. We found a little of that out last Saturday.
Last week. Especially last Saturday. Marcus was on a roll.
Oh man. me and Stevie watched that back and all that was classic as well.
I gotta do that.
Oh, that was classic. You could hear me and you just started laughing. And you said, "Oh hell yeah," or something like that. And I was like, oh. Yeah, that was.
I'm about to look that up.
You know how I cut out like the music and stuff when I aired it on Facebook. I aired it on Facebook last night. I left that part of the match in. I was like, I can't cut that out.
No.
There was no music on. I was like, I can't cut that out. I gotta let everybody hear that again.
Yep.
But no, we appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back on Monday, right around 3:00 with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Hope everybody enjoys your weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday.